While speaking at his book launch in ACJ Chennai, Kalishwaram Rao said about future proofing of our constitution.
Future proofing necessarily involves the present day's preservation for the purpose of future as well.
He briefed his book Constitutional Concerns, Writings on Law and Life in the event. He said, future proofing of our constitution needs to involve the past, present, future sense of the constitution. He added that a recent study at Chicago University on the demolished perceptions about lifespan of written constitutions revealed that the average lifespan of any written constitution would be around 17 years.
So, how far a constitution can last? And sometimes how can the constitutional values can last is rather answered in a terrific way in the study, which is essentially an empirical study.
He told some of the reasons for that are military complications, regime change, etc. He said that democracies die in diverse ways. Constitutions emerge only out of struggles and sacrifices of our societies.
Democracies die in different ways. And I was rather thinking sometimes that how do constitutions emerge? Constitutions sometimes emerge after some kind of struggle, protest, like Indian freedom struggle, or some other democratic revolution, bloody or otherwise. But how do constitutions die? I think sometimes constitutions die through elections.
He added that constitutions die by the elections as people are unaware of whom to choose. And it is backed up by a study on populist regimes. Autocracies and democracies like Brazil, Hungary, Russia, Philippines, etc. on unprecedented changes in the constitutional values. India is not an exception to this. He said there are parallel emergencies after 2014 regime at individual and institutional level. He said that during the national emergency, though the democracies and freedom curtailed, the elections remained as a formidable repair in the form of people's response.
In a rather academic angle, but we also know how the realities are confronted by the nation, how we suffer the atmosphere of hatred, of fear, and how far we are rather deconstitutionalized ourselves. This was a theme which I attempted to indicate with all my limitations because I am essentially not an academic.
He added that our Constitution's own provisions ensure for emergencies under Article 352 to destroy Part 3, that is, fundamental rights, and Article 356. It is supporting for limited freedom and democracy under certain conditions. He said there are no electoral bonds after emergency. So then the institutions were preserved. Now that everything changed and the elections became social media influenced and people are not able to make a right choice. He mentioned Granville Austin's electoral system emphasis concept to save the constitutional principles in the times of abuse of power. Instead of abusive judicial review, he said responsive judiciary can be the savior of our democracy. He opined that deeper study and civil society movements like Farm Laws, Citizenship Amendment Act have the potential to save our democracy even if the fourth estate fails. The fifth pillar, that is, Supreme Court, is still the savior of our democracy.
In the years to come, there may be a requirement to use the Constitution as a political tool, not in courts, not in the institutions alone, but by the masses, across the streets, across the fields, across the villages.